Alright, so welcome to another video from the chart reader. So we are going to be looking at the EV sector for a 7th time. I can't believe I'm on the number 7 video for this. So, hey, if you haven't already, please subscribe. It's the quickest way to get these videos. And look, as always, what are we going to do? We're going to look at the daily and the weekly. We're going to use these moving averages as well as these horizontal support and resistance lines that I basically manually draw. Not basically, I do. And then again, we'll wind it up using these 2 lower indicators down here, basically like a little reassurance thing, right? So starting with the big boy, right? Starting with Tesla and then working our way through 2, 4, 6, 7 of them. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Look, this actually looks a little on the bullish side, right? So what's happened here since the last time we made this? We made this video on the 30th, so basically this day right here, right? And obviously, look, we've said this a couple times, right? When you're trading under the 8, it's very bad. When you start to get over the 8, which is basically what's now happened the last 2 days, that's when things start to get interesting, right? The stock is essentially back in play, right? Because, hey, this is not financial advice in any way, but if you've watched this, rule number 1 is you don't buy anything when it's under this 8 line, right? 8, again, is our 8 moving average. And then you always buy when it's over, right? So the thing here, though, right, keep a couple things in mind. There's definitely a moving average right here. This one's the 20. There's definitely a line right here. This one's the 200. And then there's basically this manual one that I drew, right? This has absolutely no mathematical correlation to anything. These lines are definitely math driven and do their calculation things to put the next point wherever it goes, right? So with all that said, basically what I would play is these gaps, right? So if this opens tomorrow, I would want to open above this, right? I need to get over the 20, which looks like it's at 290.33. I sincerely wouldn't buy this unless this was at 290.50, 291, right? I want to be above the line and basically play as much as I can all the way up to probably this wall right here, if I had to guess, right? From there, basically same thing. Hey, if you can beat it, let's run this to 300, right? Otherwise, you're gonna hit and come down. You're gonna hit and come down. You're gonna hit and come down, right? All I'm saying, and I'm not saying that they're going to hit and come down, right, is you have a couple places where there are natural resistances, right? So as good as it is that we're over the 8, look, this could be a little bit riskier one. There might be ones that are over the 8 that don't have as many lines coming up, right? So just kind of keep that in mind as you're gauging through all these, right? From here, look, the RSI actually looks really nice, right? We have the green over red. Again, that's what we want to see. Green is good, red is bad, right? Just like a traffic light. And hey, we're rising, right? This is a pretty low number. There's a lot of room it could go up if it wants to go up, right? But again, I think most of the work is going to happen here. We definitely need to get over the 20. Definitely need to get over the 200. In all honesty, the safest bet, let me just see if I have, the safest bet might even be just wait to break the 300 and then ride this right here. Because if you break the 300, you're over all these lines, right? So again, different risk tolerances. There's different ways people trade, but I'm a big fan of safe money, right? I'm not going to lie. There's no reason to add extra risk, right? But Tesla on the daily looks good. Again, just natural resistances coming up, right? So watch those accordingly. Where are we on the weekly? Look, I love this, right? It's obviously very early in the... It's not actually. We're almost at the end of the week. Shit, my work weeks are combining. But look, it looks like we might close over the 8 on the weekly. That's a beautiful thing. Look at that RSI. That's starting to creep up. That's a beautiful thing, right? I like this. And again, if we can break the 300, we would also break the 50 on the weekly, right? This channel is just a lot safer than this channel, right? That's kind of the moral of the story here. But in all honesty, this does look bullish. And hey, if the NASDAQ continues to do well, Tesla should do well, right? Oh man, Mullen, what happened? So clearly this wanted to be a monster day. From what I read, it looked like there was a potential acquisition or something. There was definitely news. There was definitely a lot of people that bought the news, right? And look, what happened? It's kind of what we were just talking about in the last chart, right? The last 2 days we were over the 8, right? We broke it this day and actually confirmed on this day. Those are great things. it looked like the news was actually going to have us start over the 20. We ran all the way to this line, right? Again, I hope you see the power of these lines that I make. It's not necessarily to the penny, but it gives you an idea, right? And then obviously we come all the way to losing this line and actually coming below the 8 again. It was really sad. I'm not going to lie. There were points when this thing was actually plus 11 or 12%. And then I'll be honest, I didn't see it ended this low. But yeah, no, that's really sad, actually. I don't know what the news was. Again, I think it was an acquisition. But if you've seen these videos long enough, I don't really care about news, right? I care about lines breaking. That keeps you a little more neutral, right? Your emotions kind of, you can't give news. You can easily give news more hype than it is. But hey, a line breaks or it doesn't. It's very black and white, right? So yeah, but again, Mullen, there might be a bounce tomorrow. Again, the news thing and the meme thing might do something. But again, where are we, right? We are below this 0.62, and there's a good chance we're going to run to this 0.54, right? Again, RSI doesn't look great. It is low, but look, we've been lower, right? I've mentioned this last time. We've been in these teen numbers. So yeah, you never want to ask the question, how much lower can it go or how much worse can it get? Because shit, I've seen it. It can get worse, I promise you. Look at this weekly RSI. That's bad, right? It's basically the opposite of the Tesla weekly. The green is under. It looks like the green wants to continue running under, and the red just kind of seems steady up here, right? That's bad. We basically want the flip of it, right? We want the green to be running up. So Mullen does not look good on the weekly. This daily was sad because, like I said, I think a lot of people were hoping the news would stick, but clearly it did not. So again, trade over the 8, right? Never trade under the 8. LIDR, LIDAR. Oh man, again, geez. Okay, I have not. Did we make any lines down here? There are no lines down here. That's right, because we are sitting at all-time lows, right? Again, do not want to buy a stock that's sitting in all-time lows, right? I can't make any sorry about that. I couldn't make any new lines because there were no other support points, right? If you're at all-time lows, you don't have any history back here, right? I'm just literally zooming out. I have nothing to make lines from, right? So I'll probably make a line here, but again, I almost don't need to because it does look like we just lost it, right? I'm going to put the bottom. Oh, nice. Yeah, we lost this, which was only a couple days ago, right? So, I mean, it's not even that pretty a line. It's basically a new thing, right? But, yeah, LIDAR, we are sitting at all-time lows. And, again, I promise you, don't buy something and ask yourself how much lower can it go, because they can go to zero. It's sad. There are really good ideas and what you would think are good companies. But, yeah, if the market doesn't like it, it doesn't, is what it is, right? Don't let emotion and logic steer you away from profit or saving profit, right? If you're thinking too much, I know it sounds counterintuitive, right? But sometimes you need to take a little bit of emotion out. And LIDAR, believe me when I say, I know LIDAR is a good company, right? All these car companies need these LIDAR these AI eyes, right? That's pretty much what the name implies. But hey, if everyone else can make their own, why are they going to buy LIDARs, right? So you really need to think a little pessimistically sometimes, right? So LIDAR, all-time lows, and there's really no reason to believe it won't unless some sort of magic comes out. So better places to put your money. EvGo, interesting little chart here. Okay, so look at this, right? Again, is it a pretty chart? Not necessarily, but it is an interesting chart. We've basically been saved by this, what is this, the 100, right? The 100 moving average, again, in blue is 100, right? For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can call it 9 days, right? That's I like that. I like to see that level of support on one line. Just know you can only have so much support before it breaks, right? All of these days are trading under the 8, right? Looks like these two kind of try to peak up, but obviously this cluster right here failed. We're under the 8. We've had 9 supports on this line, really a 10th one if you go back here. It can only support so much. And look, this 0.937 line, wow, my numbers are not doing well today. That's not good for a stock video. This is a pretty hard line, right? It's try to break, try to break, try to break, try to break, try to break. It actually did break these two, right? But no good confirmations. And again, this natural resistance right here. So what would I say? Kind of the same thing I said with Tesla. The safe bet is the break of 1028 and play this channel. Because honestly, this channel, there's so much ugliness. You have 2 lines right here. It's clearly failed it the last couple times to try to get up to this line. I would stay away until a break of 1028. Again, not a horrible weekly. Look, we're obviously under the 8 both weeks, but we're trying to save by this 20 right here, right? Again, you're only going to get saved so many times, right? So kind of the same comments echoed from the daily chart. VLDR. So again, same kind of story with LIDAR, right? Believe me when I say I know these technologies are important, right? Do we know if VLDR's tech is any better or worse than LIDAR? I'll be honest, I don't. I gotta believe some people do, right? But that's not how I trade, right? I trade with these lines, and at least this guy isn't at all-time lows, but you know, it kind of goes with the same story, right? Look at all these days just trading under the 8, right? Even these, it tried to pop, but just, I mean, it's pretty much been under the 8 since the 17th of the last month, right? Give or take. So you want a stock that's consistently over the 8, not under, right? So, and again, look at all these lines that it needs to break just to really like, oh man, again, kind of echoing the same thing. I wouldn't touch this thing until we're over 143. There's just no reason to, you know, there's so many natural resistances coming up, and yeah, let it struggle without your money, and then you put your money when the clouds kind of open up, right? That should be a logical idea, I hope. Solo, S-O-L-O. Oh my goodness, this is ugly, right? So we literally came all the way down to this 135 line. Is there another one? There is, but it's a fat gap down. That's about a 10%er, right? 12 cents. Yeah, it actually is almost on the dot, 10%. So do not lose 1.36, right? There's not much more to say, but look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 days trading under the 8. It should be no surprise, right? If you're over the 8, you would literally, you know, see this, right? You would see this writing up the 8. We're now seeing writing down the 8, right? So I can't stress the beauty and the importance of the 8 more than this right here, right? So I'm not even looking in the weeklies because honestly, there's so much that needs to happen before I would even consider this a good stock. But over 156, hey, I'm there, right? You're going to break all these. You'd be in a better position. I'd love solo over 1.56. At 155 or under, don't come talking to me about solo. You know what I mean? And again, I say that with no offense. I really do, right? CHPT. ChargePoint. Oh, this looks like a very good chart, actually. Wow. Okay, I'll be honest. I was not looking at this, but I think I will tomorrow for sure. Basically the opposite of a lot of the things that I was talking about, right? Instead of coming down and following the 100, this one actually kind of stayed up and followed the 50. Not only that, we're now looking like a break of all of these as well as a break of 1622. If this goes a penny higher in the morning, ChargePoint is for sure a go. I could see this coming down a little bit. Look, honestly, even if it came to like 1675, 1660, that wouldn't be that bad, right? In all honesty, obviously it would suck. We do want it to go up. But as long as we're over this 8, really as long as we're over the 20, and more importantly over the 1622, ChargePoint looks good, and that's a nice RSI, right? Green is over red. Actually looks like green wants to continue up, and this is going to stay flat. I'm actually even seeing green over red on the MACD. ChargePoint looks pretty. I'll be real honest with you. And look, I've said this a couple times if you watch the video, right? You make an attempt at a break, you come down to the next support, and then hopefully you go back up, right? ChargePoint, not that bad. This could be really interesting, actually. I like that it broke the top of this one. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of positivity here. I will be honest. ChargePoint will be on my radar. And look, if it breaks 17, that's a nice gap right there, actually. That looks like a 20% jump, right? 150, roughly $3. Again, I'm rounding, but that channel up there is nice. A break of 1776 is good. In all honesty, if this opens a penny higher tomorrow, ChargePoint can be in place. So this was the last one, but if you stayed the whole way, this was actually the best one on these. So hey, I appreciate your subscribing. I appreciate your time, and I hope you're learning. Have a good one.